Surprise Synopses. Meet me under the bridge by Wednesday night.
Surprise Synopsis.
Welcome to Surprise Synopses, the show where we pull a trope out of a hat and I try and stay on mic while putting my guitar gently down on the ground. Then we pull a genre out of a hat and create a surprise synopsis. Are we ready, Damien?
I'm Damien and ready.
Are you ready, Alex?
Yes, but I have some notes.
Oh, okay, this is awfully early.
That's an early point.
What happened to you doing different types of movie people voices? You
both
enough?
roasted me for how bad I am at accents, and I'll admit, we met each other halfway. I am bad at accents, and you rightfully roasted me for that, but then you roasted the spirit of creativity.
I didn't roast that. I roast everything.
Remember that time we were ghosts?
Yeah. Remember that time that I was the murderer?
Yeah, that dragged on a bit, I think. It was fun, but that went on for like 8 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Besides, Damien did a accent in the intro.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess that
I
comes...
panicked, I'm sorry.
All right, fine. Hang on. All right. Rewind. Wait, hang on. Rewind. And today will be the trope day of our genre day. July 4th. It's Independence Day, but tropes and genres. Back to the show.
All right, I'll take it. All right, do you want to do... Oh, wait.
And the trope is...
Yeah, that's what we're up to. Because we don't talk about the stupid people in the stupid movies anymore, thank God.
Well, that was feedback I got from one of you guys.
I think it was feedback we both got.
Okay. People haven't talked to me about this show.
This
Unless
trope,
it's a long one.
Yeah.
Is this one of yours?
Yeah, Alex. I like to be
This
specific.
is a 4-line Alex special.
It's 3.5.
Can I get changed into my PJs?
I have big handwriting, though.
Need
I
to
write like a
settle in.
12-year-old girl.
Our trope is an object gains sentience, but only the protagonist can hear /answer /interact with the object.
So
Why is that funny?
Because it's a lot. Like, an object gains sentience would have been fine. But now there's like extra hoops to go through.
I love about your pictures, they're so specific and somehow so broad.
Yeah,
Like an object could be anything. Gain sentience, okay, not a stretch. But only the protagonist can interact with them. All right, okay.
Man, what I'm hoping for is like erotic fiction for this.
Is that one of the options?
I hope not.
And it's a dildo?
Wink.
The dildo.
Wink.
Have you seen Big Mouth?
Yes, I have.
With a vagina talk? Like, oh, hey, girl.
Yeah. That would kind of work, right? So what's some examples of
Detective
of this
Pikachu,
trope?
which hasn't come out yet, but in the trailers for the movie, only the protagonist can understand Pikachu.
I thought that was a joke.
No, it's real. It's happening.
Ooh.
It's coming out soon.
That's exciting.
This year, I believe. Which sucks to be that guy. He's the only one who can hear Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp. I'm actually struggling to think of any others off the top of my head. It's something very familiar to me and I can picture it, but I just can't think of any.
The
specific-
soldier in the cupboard or whatever? The army man in the cupboard?
Yeah. The Indian in the cupboard.
Indian in the cupboard.
Yeah.
What the hell are you two talking about?
It's like a real old school book.
Yeah, and he puts like toys in the cupboard and they come to life.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Toy Story, technically.
Yeah.
But except for the...
Except it's the antagonist that sees them. Not the
Yeah.
protagonist.
Yeah.
The museum, the Ben Stiller museum.
Oh, Night at the Museum.
Night at the museum. Objects gain sentience, and only the night watchman knows about it, right? So
Yeah, okay.
Makes
That
sense.
tracks.
um,
Except they melt in the sun or something.
or they
Turn to
they go
dust.
back to being just lifeless.
I don't
during the
feel
day.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Ben
that-
Stiller.
The sunlight makes them go back to being still.
I feel like a kind of ghost film would also satisfy this criteria. I'm trying to think what ghost film has a
Poltergeisty film.
like an object kind of gets possessed.
Oh, like
by
that doll one.
Chucky.
Annabelle. Well, I think it's Annabelle. Either of them, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, like more people can see it. But like it starts off with normally just one person being able to see it do stuff, like move its head and be creepy. Well, maybe this is a new one. No one's ever thought of this one before. I'm sure.
Well,
or maybe
no
the
one's
reason why.
ever thought of this one, have they, Alex? And I just threw the genres at Alex to prompt her to pick one out and go for it.
Or maybe it's just such a bad thing that any movies they've made about this has never been
What's
good.
the film with number 5 is alive?
Oh man.
I do not know.
Is it just called number 5?
Sorry, I've got nothing.
It's the robot. It gains sentience, and the inventor has to like keep it secret. Yeah.
Sorry.
iRobot.
Pinocchio.
Until
Until Pinocchio starts talking to everyone else.
Well, Pinocchio gains sentience. Yeah, tick. But I guess... But Pinocchio is the protagonist, so it doesn't really scan.
No.
Who wrote these little ripped up ones?
Well, why do you ask?
It's Harley, definitely. I didn't write ripped up ones.
Lies. I did not write any of the tropes or genres. I have far too much editing to do.
What's your genre?
It says 1980s does 2010s. Back to the Future in brackets.
Yeah, so also... Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I get you. I was thinking of Stranger Things, but it's the other way around. So it's the 1980s version of the future.
What? 1980s does 2010s.
Yeah, so...
So I have to go back into 1980 and pretend I know what 2010 looks like.
Yeah. So, like, everything... We're still using VHS. Everything's walkie-talkies, but it's the future. There's lasers everywhere. It's neon.
What?
I can picture this very clearly in my head.
I haven't seen Back to the Future.
So it's like
late.
So this is going to be like
10.
a sci-fi film made in the 80s, but they've set it in the 2010s. So it's like what they're imagining the 2000s. So it's going to be like flying cars, but everyone's using like ghetto blasters and the fashions are the same.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So it's like shitty old sci-fi.
Yeah, so what if someone's ghetto blaster comes alive? And starts to talk and jive?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to do a little funny one. I don't think this is going to go very, very long, but I think it'll be cute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Back to the Future style. So like, just I'm not really 100% sure what this means. So just imagine Back to the Future style 2010s.
Yep.
And there's a guy who wants to be a basketballer, but he's a little white dweeb. And at a garage sale, that's the word I was looking for, garage sale, he buys a basketball.
Yep.
And it gains sentience because he's at home crying. He didn't make the basketball team at school, and he'd been using this ball to like practice, and so it had been like with him for a journey. But like this is very quick, couple of minutes at the start of the movie, and he doesn't make the basketball team, and he's like at home crying, and there's like a lightning storm, and then the basketball gains sentience, and it like comes alive, but only he can hear it.
Yep, tick, tick, and tick.
And it like helps him become a good basketballer.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So maybe it was like some
Michael
basketballer from
Jordan's
1980s who somehow
basketball.
still playing basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his basketball. And so it's like, and it has that guy's voice. So it's like Shaq's in it or
Shaq's
something.
voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. You vocally cast Shaq.
Yeah.
Wait, Shaq, aren't you still alive? Yeah, dude, but I'm just in this basketball.
Yeah.
It's my spirit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
time-traveling basketball ghost doesn't care.
the basketball just is like, it has all his like knowledge. And so it just comes out with Shaq's voice. It's not necessarily Shaq's ghost. It's just like the basketball is like a part of Shaq. So it like helps him, and like at training and stuff, it like tells him where to go, and he's like, they're like using the ball, and it's like, and he like eventually maybe he made like the B team, but not the A team.
Ah, yeah.
And so he's
on
still
the
getting to
bench.
play and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's like killing it, and they like always, he seems to be able to use this ball at training, and like in games, like they like use the ball. And so it's like telling him what to do and like doing all this cool stuff, and there's like, you know, lots of funny stuff happens, and there's like a girl who really likes him who's a cheerleader, and she originally like blew him off at the start of the movie because he didn't make the A team, and she's like, I want to date a jock, rah. And he's like all sad now. She's like watching him, and he's like, there's really good
He
basketball.
was
and
a
he's
skater boy. He said, see you later, boy.
he was a B team boy. She
make
said,
it.
go suck someone else's dick. Like,
Holy shit.
Strong advice.
What alternate history? Avril Lavigne got way harder dumped.
yeah. But they're all still wearing, you know, really 1980s looking
Yeah.
clothes and all that sort of stuff. And they still caught 1980s-ish. Like,
Yeah.
there's no phones or something, like that sort of thing, but it's still like modern-esque. So, like, they're in a big stadium like now.
Or like rich guy has like huge brick phone and that's it.
Yeah. Because they just didn't expect that to be. Or the phones are like really tiny. That's what they've imagined.
Oh,
like
comically
tiny little
tiny.
phones.
Well,
yeah.
the phones are the same size, but they're video phones, so they have to hold them out. Like really
They
shitty,
can
like,
only
they're
video.
like kind of GoPros
Yeah,
as well.
they like zoom in
Yeah.
with the lens. And you can't see the other person, you can only hear them because
Yeah.
it's just a camera.
So it's like, why are you?
Or like
on
one
camera?
person can see, one person can.
Yeah, so you have to talk and then you hold it out so they
Yeah.
can respond. That'd be so shit.
Just so not thought out at all.
Just hurt your arm.
But yeah, so he gets famous, And it's like in the news and stuff because he's like, say maybe he's like college age, so it's like
Yeah.
basketball that matters a little bit, or it's like Texas, so like
They're way into it.
high school, yeah, wherever it is, it's like way into it, like big stadiums, people are really into this, and like people start coming to like the B team games to watch this kid who's like incredible, like dunking, doing flips and stuff because the ball's telling him what to do. And then he gets brought up into the A team, like real close to the finals, and he's like still killing it, and like the basketball like now is on the sidelines, but he's still like calling out to him, telling him what to do because like he can't use it in games, like that's not really an issue. But then like the night before the game, he's like shooting hoops, like practicing or something, and then the kid from the A team who liked this girl who he liked, and it's like, so it's like a bit of a love circle, and now he's dating this girl because like he became cool and that's all she wanted, but you know they're kids, so he doesn't care, he just wants the girl. And this guy's like, you know, that was my girl, like you're fucking all this up, like, and like beats him up a bit and pops his
Oh shit.
basketball.
No.
Knives the basketball.
No, not Shaq Ball.
And then he just like leaves the stadium. So like the lights turn off in the basketball stadium because the guy like flicks him off because he's a dick. So you hear the be like, Chah! And the guy's like crying on the ground with this basketball, and like it's like breathing. It's like making breathing noises. And he's like, you're gonna have to do it on your own, buddy. Like I've taught you. Like you can do this. And he's like, no, I need you. I can't do it on my own. And he's like, no, it's up to you. And then like he's like, Shaq, or like he's named the basketball something else. It's
This
like
is the most wrenching
like-
ball-based
Yeah.
tragedy since Wilson
He's
from
like-
Castaway.
oh bless. And so he like goes to the game the next day. It's the grand final. He's all this hype. There's like people looking at him, like it's all about him. Like he's on the big posters. The guys there like anger at him. He's got like a bit of a black eye, and he's like with his mates like be like, you know, like don't you dare get
Don't
on
you
that
step
court.
to me, bro.
Yeah, like you're gonna
I'll take you to court, yo.
But he's
The
just like,
basketball court, did you get it?
No.
I made a sports thing.
oh, good job.
yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Good job, sweetie.
Thank you.
You're really on the ball.
You did a sports thing. We all did a sports thing.
It was a 3-pointer.
Yay.
That one didn't go as well.
It's a slam dunk.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is that a
Space
basketball
Jam.
thing?
Slam dunk, yeah.
Yes. Good one. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to move past the fact you don't know what a slam dunk is. Have you heard the concept dunk?
Yeah, I just forgot it was basketball. I think a slam dunk is like just a generally like that was a good thing. It was a slam dunk.
Oh, that's.
It's like a home run, but for basketball.
I thought it was just a euphemism.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so where are we
no,
up to? I forgot already.
You're up to
No, the
big
ball
final
died.
game.
And
Oh, the
he's
ball
fun-
died. He's at
yeah.
the game the next day, and the guy's like,
And he's about to go
Face
John
me.
Wick on these fools
Yeah.
at that basketball.
But can he
version.
still play without the ball?
well, yeah, like he still physically can go out on the court. We haven't got to that yet, have we?
Oh.
So
Get
like
back.
he's like still looks like he can play. He still looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the ball telling him what to do.
Yeah.
So the guy doesn't like him, and this guy are both the point guard, which in basketball means they're the one that sort of run the play, but they're the little one, but they're the fast, quick one who's like, you know, tell people what to do and sort of like run the plays.
Uh-huh.
So they're both the point guard. So this kid is the main protagonist is the starter, and he starts off real shit. He's all shaky, like can't handle it. He's like can't doing it, and so he gets subbed off for this other guy. And like as he goes on, he like slaps him really hard, like because you know like high five each other, like. But he's like teammates, so he just like whacks in the chest. He's like, yeah, good one, fuckwit, like oh dickhead. This is a kids movie. Good one, idiot. There we go. Got there. It's hard for Alex, but I got there. And like he goes on, and he's like doing okay, and the coach is like throws like the board on the floor, and he's like, what are you doing, you idiot, like get your head in the game. And like goes sits on the end of the bench, and he's like sitting there, and he's like, oh my god, like I can't do this, like. And then he's like thinking, he's like, what would the ball say? And he's like, this. And he's like as he's watching the play, and he's like, what would the ball told me to do then? And like, but he's still sitting on the bench. He's like, oh, I would have done that. He's like, hang on a second, like he's taught me. He's like, I've
Wait.
gotten there. Like I know all the answers now. I know what he would have told me to do. So then the second quarter comes by, they're down by like heaps, and he's like, all right, like, oh no, actually, let's like zoom way forward. It's like fourth
The
quarter.
final
There's like
few minutes.
Yeah, it's like fourth quarter. They're down by like an insane amount, like 30 points, 40 points.
That's a lot.
It's
in
like
basketball.
120 to 80. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot in basketball.
Yeah.
They're like
And-
2 points a goal, right?
Yeah, 3 point, 1 to 2, 3.
That's a large difference of accumulated
Yeah,
score.
like a normal NBA game, it will be like 112, 20 mark, sort of like.
Yeah.
It normally seems to be around 112 sort of thing, but it like differs. It could be like 134. But yeah, so it's like to be like 82, like normally games are like 1 or 2 points in that sort of leagues, unless
Yep.
you're getting smashed. So yeah, like to be down 30 points is like you've lost. And he's like, so he's been off like 2 quarters because the coach is like, you're cooked, get off. And he's like, nah, coach, put me back on. Like I'm back in it. And he's like, all right, like this is your chance, get on. And he just starts demolishing the game.
Yep.
And he's just like dunking and doing all these good shit and just nailing. He knows what to do. And they come back and there's like 1 point in it, and someone just decks him
Ooh.
and like does his ankle.
Oh no.
Oh.
Literally no.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my God, I can't do it. I have to. He gets pulled off, and the other kid gets put on. And there's like 30 seconds left, and like something's happening, and he's like watching, like holding his ankle from the ground, and you can see the guy's going to do something else, but you can see the defense is going to like go for it.
Yeah.
And he like screams out, and he's like, do a post fake or something, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm not going to, like something. It's like,
Do the knuckle
like
puck.
pick and roll, and the guy was going to do something else, and like looks at him, and like looks up at the score, and like does what the guy who he doesn't like on the ground says, and they score and they win.
Nice.
And then it's
it
like
all
all
home.
cheering, and the girl comes up and kisses him because he loves him, and like it's sort of like the guy comes up and he's like, yeah, like he's like happy with him because they won, but he still doesn't like him, but he's like, yeah, like good advice, whatever sort of thing, but like sort
Yeah.
of breaking that wall. You can see they might
Begrudging respect.
they might begin to become something from hate.
Yeah.
It's like it's moving to less than hate. So you're like, that's potential. There's potential there for them to become frenzies and basketballers together. Because like the other guy as well, like you got to remember, like he's not bad. He's in the A team.
Yeah.
Like he's just angry that he got dropped from starting like point guard to second. So there's like that sort of thing there. And he's like, how can a B team guy like got rid of me? But he's like, you know what? Like that helped us win the game. And the girl's kissing him, and it's sort of like all out, like it's a positive family movie thing. It's
Yeah.
like all funny, lol, flubber, but flubber gets stabbed. But it's a basketball.
It's Flubber, but Flubber gets shivved.
Shit.
Yeah. And then he like moves on to be like this famous basketballer. Because he
I-
got taught by Sharks Ball.
I really like that.
Thank you.
Does
Yeah.
he like meet Shark in like a post-credit scene?
Yes, for sure. And he like he answers his sentences or something because he like knows Sharks.
Oh yeah, that's better. My joke was gonna be, Shaq, that's not what you sound like, buddy. I heard you. I heard you on the ball. What, kid?
like, what? Yeah, some
You
funny
found my
thing.
haunt ball.
Yeah.
And is there a post-credit scene when you bring the ball back? Because if you stab a basketball, can't you like patch it up somehow?
Nah, if you like slice a ball, it's done. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
got bladders in it and stuff.
Can
Yeah.
you just replace the bladder?
But the leather's sliced too. Like you can't sew up a ball, like because it wouldn't be the right shape
Oh.
anymore.
Right, I was just going to use inordinate amounts of sticky tape, like duct tape.
Well, you could, I guess, if you wanted, like sewn it up so it's like
Oh yeah, it was basically going to be so like the Shaq ball can roll out after the credits, be like, "Hey, I survived."
yeah. I feel like
Maybe, could he put it to another use? Like just like kind of like carve it up and use it as like the steering wheel cover or something?
it's like turn.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, let's hit the road, kid.
All the way to what's an NBA town in America?
Cleveland.
All the way to Cleveland.
All the way to Cleveland for the Nationals.
Yeah, no, for the regionals.
For regionals.
Do
Who
it for
Shark play
regionals.
for? I don't even remember. LA maybe.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not really good with my NBA. I'm
Michael
not super
Jordan
into it.
played for the Chicago Bulls because this was covered in Space Jam.
Yes, they did. He did.
Thank you.
I had a poster of him on my wall.
Oh, that's fair. My
Anyway,
podiatrist
yeah.
had a poster of his like arms outstretched.
Oh,
but, like,
everyone
real
does that
size,
now.
'cause,
And then
like,
people
he
try
has
and reach their hands.
Massive arm span.
It's a big unit.
LeBron does that now.
Absolute
It's a
unit.
tall lad.
That's LeBron's thing now.
LeBron's going to be
I
in
think the
Space
ball
Jam
should
too.
stay dead though. I think the ball should like
Okay.
the spirit's gone.
Yeah, it's
and
good
he's
to
learned
teach
that he's
kids
like
that life is
he's
impermanent, death lasts forever.
yeah, but also like he also learnt from that and is no longer reliant.
Yeah. You got to look after yourself because
Yeah.
you're the only person you care about if you die, so everyone else
Yeah,
just...
like it's like if your parents teach you all this stuff and then they die, you can still make your own sandwiches.
This is getting dark. Someone else pick a genre.
Who wants a genre? Harley wants a genre.
Okay, Alex has decided that Harley goes next.
Fuck's sake, just grab one.
Nah, you got to... I don't... On the first date, Alex, you got to like...
He's fishing around just to find the erotic one.
Yeah, and also you know how I said I'm going to need a pee? I'm at it.
We can take a quick break if you want to...
No, we'll see. Oh, actually, it is you. It will go for a while. No, I'll hold it. Well, I should be fine.
Fine. Just listen to my very short and concise movie about an object that gains sentience and only protagonists can hear it in the genre of
Tortilla.
thriller.
Oh, thriller.
You
I
were
was trying to
very
read.
close.
I was trying to read
Tortilla.
through the paper.
Genre of tortilla. So it's set in Mexico.
It's a tortilla.
Fine, it is set in Mexico, and because you suggested Mexico, I'm also going to double down on Damien as it's set in 80s Mexico, the height of the drug cartel wars, probably.
Yeah, sure.
El Trapo's escaped for the first time, maybe,
El Trapo?
and he's
El Trapo.
back to reign Mexico with a cocaine-fueled fist.
I would have just jump in here and let you guys know. I have the sickest sticker on my esky, and it's like a picture of Pablo Escobar coming out of an esky with like a shuckers going like Pablo Escobar.
Okay, I didn't expect that to get there, but then it did.
Yeah,
That
and I just
is
really
good.
love it. Like, yeah, it's like my favorite part of my esky, except for the keeping the bevs cold. I probably love that more.
That's understandable.
Maybe Alex's Instagram is Pablo Escobar.
Maybe.
The mystery continues.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bum,
so
bum,
this
bum.
kid totally gets orphaned after his parents are brutally murdered by cocaine commandos. But
Stephen Basil.
Are they on cocaine
Yeah.
as well? They were just like hepped up.
yep.
Let's stop some crime. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they're not going to be pretty. They're going to be pretty indiscriminate about their fire anyway, and cocaine just really speeds up that process, probably.
Probably. He adds in quietly.
Anyway, the kid's found, but
I wouldn't know. Demur's Harley sniffing wildly.
oh no, dude, I have a chemistry degree. I know nothing about illicit narcotics. Literally nothing. Do you snort cocaine? Do you inject it? I don't know.
Depends how it
Can't
is.
tell if Harley's being sarcastic.
Oh no, I'm being genuine. I don't know anything about illicit narcotics.
All right.
I could probably make
Except
them.
you call them
given
fancy pants words like narcotics.
Yeah, because that's what they're called, Alex.
They're called gateway drugs.
No, that's called things that aren't weed.
What are the destination drugs? I want that.
Straight methamphetamine into the eyeball.
Is that how you take meth?
Yep.
I'm learning something new every day.
If you ever want to do meth, that's how you should take it.
Probably
Straight in the
don't wanna
eyeball.
do
Yeah.
Oh, man.
that. Is meth the one in Breaking Bad?
I haven't seen it. Probably.
Oh, okay.
What do they do?
It's blue.
They make crystal.
Meth. Yeah, they'd make
Okay.
meth. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like crystal does good things for you. Is that
Looks-
the same as ice, or is that
Well, it
different?
gets you 5 seasons
Different.
Hey,
and a spin-off.
yeah, which is almost at 5 seasons in a movie, apparently.
5 seasons like the place
Anyway.
where the bread rolls
Make drugs,
in America.
kid.
The kid is so traumatized / injured by the indiscriminate fire that Mexico's healthcare system is like, send him to the US. And the US is
What's
like,
the healthcare system got to do with it?
oh, because like he got injured in the firefight.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, look, we don't know what to do, and the gangs run the hospitals anyway, send him to the US. So Texas patches him up somehow and installs a pacemaker because he has an irregular heart rhythm because of all the violence and shock and stuff.
So this is a thriller, right?
We're getting there.
Yeah. No, I was just checking because I'm pretty sure I talked over you. So I was just
Okay,
like,
yeah, it is a
for
thriller.
the viewers, thriller.
Not tortilla.
Tortilla.
Yeah, not a tortilla, a thriller.
Well,
If
the
it was a tortilla,
thriller
you could
in
really wrap it
Manila is when you
Wrap
eat.
this puppy up and let me pee. Tortilla it.
Well, you let me speak, dear.
No, I want a burrito still. I want a lot of things.
Oh, with sour cream, Avo.
I
Yeah,
want it
all Avo.
So,
much Avo. Okay, continue.
on the helicopter ride back to Mexico, because the US is like, we'll patch you up, but you cannot fucking stay here. We hate your kind. Illegal immigrants, that is,
Wow.
not Mexicans.
Wait, then he's...
What?
Wait, he's coming to...
No, that's the joke, because Americans are just really racist. So, he's being shipped back to
Oh.
Mexico.
Choo
and
choo on the
he's
choo choo
on-
train.
in the plane by himself, because the guy sent to watch him is like, I cannot relate to this kid at all. I'll just leave him in the cargo hold and go back to my
in the
business."
cargo hold.
Yeah, so the kid's just there in the helicopter, just being sad and alone. And suddenly he hears this voice like, oh, don't be so frowny, boy. It could be worse.
I forgot what this was. Yeah,
and
got
the
it.
kid's
Sentient.
like, what is that voice that only I can hear? And he's like, I'm your pacemaker. I'm Pa.
I thought you were going to say it was a gun.
No.
And he just kills everybody. It's
Well,
just-
we'll
it's
get
a
He's
massacre.
stolen my pitch.
We'll get there, Alex.
It's my
Just
cursed item.
simmer down. We'll get
Sorry,
there.
he's heart
Sorry, we're
beater.
jumping ahead.
So he lands back in Mexico, ends up in the Mexican foster care system, and just has a montage of a real rough time. But the one constant is his pacemaker, Pa, who helps him, as a voice of reason, external thought. But then in the background, the drug violence just gets worse and worse and worse until one day the orphanage is shot up and our protagonist is the only survivor. But then he's like cornered by some of the cocaine-fueled commandos, and then the kid is like frozen deer in headlights. He doesn't know what he's going to do. But suddenly time slows down because Pa, the pacemaker, speeds up his heartbeat so much that it starts to increase his perception of time such that he perceives the world super slow now because he's thinking in like 100 times speed. And so they have a conversation of like, I mean, I can't do this forever, but if you want to get out of here, we got to do it now. So Pa makes the choice of like, I guess I can't lead a peaceful life in a violent society. And also they're about to kill me, so I want to do something about that. And so they use Pa's ability to manipulate his heartbeat. So when he needs to take like a long range shot, he can slow down the heartbeat so he can, take the shot better. And when he's in a quick firefight, he can speed up the heartbeat to, increase his perception of time. So we have some really cool fight scenes.
Wow, so his heart controls time. That, like,
it sets,
no,
like,
honestly,
the
that sounds
external-
fucking cool. If, like, as that happens, like, it's like everything slows down because his heart's like, that would be.
Yeah, so it sets
cool.
like the external pace.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And so this is the end of the middle of the second act where he's just the last guy walking out of the...
How old is he at this point? Like 17, 18 sort of thing.
I was going to say 15, but 17.
Oh, still like real little?
Yeah, let's go 17. 17's good.
Yeah.
That's adult enough that we're fine that this happens to him.
Yeah, like
young
no
enough
one's
that we
going to
still
like peter
empathise.
this. Like,
So, then the kid's like, oh, I feel funny. And Pa's like, yeah, we only get a certain amount of heartbeats in life. And your time was about up an hour ago because they had you cornered. But if you want to put the rest of your heartbeats to good use, I think we can do something about this.
but wait, isn't he out of heartbeats?
No, because that the metaphor is that, like, if Pa didn't slow down time in the orphanage, they would have shot him. So it's like using an allegory, like your time was up an hour ago, but I've given you more time.
So throughout the whole
But
orphanage thing, he
the
was
more
slowing down time.
Slowing and speeding up time.
Yeah.
But the more you use this ability, the more stress it puts on your heart.
Yeah.
So you can't do this forever.
Okay.
So he's gotten a new lease on life because he didn't die an hour ago, but this is taking, years off his life. So Pa makes the posit to him, like, you can walk away now and lead a longer, healthier life, and I'll keep the beat, buddy. Or you can, see this through, and you might live a shorter life, but you might lead a,
You might create some real change.
yeah, create some real change. And then the movie just sort of writes itself from there. It's a terse thriller as he, stealths and commandos his way through whomever's hideouts and drug lords and does all that stuff. Speeding up and slowing down.
Does he meet a girl? Got to meet the girl.
No. No, that's the thing. The further he gets along in his quest, the more alone he is. To the point where it ends up just literally him.
The more alone he is.
Yeah.
He started out with a burned down orphanage. That's pretty flopping alone.
Flopping.
And it just ends up with him and the drug lord just on the top of the drug lord's lavish manor as it's burning down in the background, but there's rain, so it's even more epic. He crashed the bad guy's helicopter, so there's no means of escape. And it sort of just ends there with our protagonist just like punching the drug lord so hard that he's dazed, and he just speeds up his heart so much that he's able to exert so much force that he just rips the heart literally out of the drug lord, because it's like a metaphor for him
Temple of Doom style.
ripping the heart out of Mexico by injecting drugs into everyone or something. And so he just kicks him off the helipad, stares at the heart, yeets it over his shoulder.
What's with the yeet thing? What are you
I
doing?
don't know, man.
I
Okay.
like Harley just learned this word.
Yeah. He like heard it today
I'm really
and he
gonna,
was like,
find a way to use this.
And then
just in case anyone didn't hear me say it before, I said yeet.
Just Kobe's it.
Yeah.
And then
Well, there you go. That's sporty.
Yeah. Kobe for accuracy. Yeet for
Distance.
strength/distance.
and so the kid just like sits on the edge of the helipad on the rising sun with the rain beating down and the burning palace in the background, and just sort of accepting as his heart, starts to slow down, and just like pump, 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 beep, credits.
You know what I'd love there? If the heart pace thing tells him he's like, this is the last beat, and he's like, I know. and then it like stops. Like it like talks to him. Like it's like sort of like that like special moment of them together.
And he's just like, yeah, but at least I didn't die alone with you, Pa.
Yeah. Something
P.S.
cute.
Can you in your will put so you have to get my pacemaker and put it in someone else's body?
I was
And keep living out my war on drugs revenge fantasy forever.
I was tempted to have it end with a heart transplant because then Pa
yeah, man.
ends up in someone else's body.
No, I
But
thought
then
you were
our
gonna.
protagonist gets to live.
I thought you were going to transplant the bloody drug lord's heart that he ripped out. He's like, I'm
I was
having this
thinking
one as
about
well.
that, but like Pa's like, let's do some live heart transplants.
Yeah, man.
But if you had a problem with the two ladies defusing a nuclear bomb on a train with YouTube, I thought I was going to get fucking roasted alive for live open heart transplants.
No, it's not too late to backdoor us like a surgeon companion.
Yeah, all right.
In comes his best friend.
All right,
He's
so-
also at the
surgeon.
orphanage.
All right. Rewind.
The guy what gave him the pacemaker.
We hear the last beep, and he closes his eyes, and the screen goes dark, and like the credits start to come up, but then the credits fade away as a beat starts to resurge, and they're in hospital, and it's all gone down, and you know he buries his old heart and says goodbye to Pa, and Pa's like, "I've done my job. Live a good life, son."
Oh, so you got a new pacemaker in.
He got a new heart, so he doesn't need a
but
new.
got a
but
whole
lost
new
the
heart.
pacemaker.
Yeah, but lost the pacemaker.
But they
Worth.
they found him on a helicopter pad and like, you know what, he needs a new heart.
They got him in time, and they're like, "He's got a pacemaker. We should check his heart."
So what happened to the pacemaker? They just toss it.
Well, it would go into medical waste, I assume.
Is it like Jumanji, where like many years later someone finds it on a beach and it's just like the sound of drums?
Shoves it on their
And
heart.
like, oh man, this seems like a cool pacemaker. Maybe I'll just pop this in here.
No, cut to, and this isn't in the movie, this is in real life in inverted commas. Cut to Netflix movie pitch room. I'm there, and the Netflix execs are there, and like, so it's like Jumanji, right? In 100 years, the next kid victim to an external conflict needs a heart transplant, and who's there? Everyone's favorite breakout character, Pa the pacemaker, and they go for round 2.
Yeah,
But it's a
man.
new
Back
kid.
for revenge.
Yeah.
You just hire a new actor every time.
And
Yeah.
Pa's like, anytime the heart of human spirit would be extinguished by the irregular rhythms of violence, I'll be there to keep the pace.
Yeah, I think the kid should die, but Pa lives on.
All right, sure. Well, you can both have your
Yeah.
endings.
You want
whatever
the kid to survive. Fuck the kid. He saved everyone. He can't have everything.
well, I guess
They
it's,
gave him
what
the
is it, a thriller?
choice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a thriller. He can die. That's fine.
Thriller. Okay, if you say thriller.
I'll admit I was a little bit light on the
Yeah.
thrilling, but
There's some thrills.
The voice of the pacemaker was like, "Oh, hey, buddy!" Like, did you remember that bit?
Yeah. As a thriller, you'd more think of like revenge.
Yeah. I was thinking in my head once I forgot about that bit that I just remembered. Then there was like a sort of a robot-esque voice
oh yeah.
that was sort of like a.
I just sort of
control-
did the high voice just to differentiate from my natural dulcet tones, just so you could hear the difference. We'll cast James Masters to do the voice. He'll think it's something good.
Oh, he's casting again, Alex.
Have you seen that
Can't stop
TV
it.
show on
Can't stop
Netflix?
Riverdale.
Final Space.
Riverdale.
Yeah,
Final Space.
I
Yeah, it
watched
really
one
sounds
episode.
like you're saying
Oh.
Riverdale.
Wasn't a fan.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah, the first episode wasn't good, but it did get better. But you know the voice of the computer thing that's like in the. I was imagining that voice.
Yeah, that sketchy drone.
No, not the weird. No, like the ship's voice.
Oh, the ship's voice. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
But yeah, I was just happy with the pacemaker setting the speeding up and slowing down the heart sort of thing
Yeah.
and perception of time. Like, I can just coast on that idea alone.
Yeah.
And I did.
All right.
We'll get the director to make it a thriller. That's not important.
Okay, so I'm shuffling my genres here. I'm really like I know erotic fiction is in here somewhere. I just like, come on, baby. Oh, close. It's a romance. It's a
you-
romance.
can make it kinky.
An object gains sentience, but only the protagonist can hear / answer / interact with the object. Okay, so what we're doing is my protagonist is going to be a lady.
A lady.
And she's going to, and it's going to be kind of near future. She's going to be working at the equivalent of Google, like the non-copyrightable Google equivalent in this setting.
Boogle.
And she's going to be working in their kind of like their deep thought kind of AI
Yep.
project. And they're taking their AI to the next step. So they've had it like they've been field testing it at various activities and getting it to like kind of graphically look at things and identify them and like kind of play different games and kind of like master them and and giving it all sorts of challenges. And they're now kind of moving through like the chat box kind of stage to try and like get it to like converse naturally and kind of test how it can respond to plain speech requests. So our lady is
oh, I see where you're going with this. Okay,
so,
I'm on.
Oh, I've been rumbled.
Ruh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
So she's been tasked with part of this. She's kind of like the project lead, and she's a real tenacious worker. And she's and she's working overtime, and other people are kind of like handing her like result sheets and whatever. So you're introduced to her as like she's a very busy lady, and she's
unimportant because she gets sheets, not just emails.
Yeah. People print things out before they give it to her.
That's important. She needs to see this shit.
It's on clipboards. And
you are warranted using ink, the most expensive fluid on earth.
Is it?
Sure.
No.
I reckon blood would probably be. Or like liquid gold.
But it's not the most expensive liquid on earth. Okay, so we're introduced to her, and she's a like hair back in bun, serious kind of like lady. No time for husband or family or whatever, but she's not a tragic. She's just like obsessed with making this work, and she's like flicking the pen.
She's just she's job orientated. It's allowed to be in this in this world.
And she's I guess I'm gonna shift. So she's not actually very businessy. She's more kind of like an engineer.
Yeah.
And she's got like kind of a working clutter kind of desk space, and she's kind of like the artisan genius kind of thing
lead
behind.
engineer.
Yeah. And she's she's got like a kind of a spooky affinity with like making this code work and getting it to hustle, and she gets to a point where she's starting to kind of like give it voice commands and talk to it and whatever, and it's starting to get pretty good, and she's asking it questions about like how do you feel about this, or what's your thoughts on this, and like what a person might do and whatever. It's kind of like stilted, and then kind of like she's talking about a new integration of a system where they've got all the successes and they're kind of reintegrate it and see how it goes. So she fires it up and tests it, and like she kind of has conversations with it, and it starts to get like a bit better and better, and there's some progress, and then it starts to kind of act a bit curiously. Okay, so it starts to kind of give responses that she doesn't expect, and really
as
kind of
in it's curious or it acts weirdly.
It acts kind of strangely.
Okay, cool.
So it's giving like very kind of like personal and kind of like kooky and unexpected responses, not like the kind of by the numbers robotic chat box kind of
Manic
thing.
Pixie Dream Computer.
Not quite, but I mean you've essentially kind of you've spotted where I'm going. And she begins to chat with it, and the more she chats with it, the better it kind of gets, and she starts to be like, it starts to ask like, what is my nature, and what am I, and what's going on here? I don't know.
Is it just a voice, or is there like something?
So we need a visualization for it. So it's going to be kind of like a big series of hard drives and kind of like big systems or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like code, and it's going to express its neural network in kind of like this lovely kind of mandala pattern. And it's going to change colors and intensity, and it's be kind of like weaving all over the screen depending on like what areas of its program it's accessing. So it's going to be like a tool for the engineers to visualize what's going on, but it ends up being kind of a shorthand for it, like kind of emoting and thinking and whatever.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
This is how we kind
like
of
different colors for different stuff.
But it's like really, it's not like doesn't form a face. It's just kind of like this kind of geometric, colorful, kind of like interweaving spider web, like fractal lattice kind of pattern that's really complex. And at first we don't kind of get it, but the more we see it, the more we kind of get its color vocabulary kind of thing.
And the more like it learns to use it.
Yeah. So, and it starts to kind of express itself through that, and it kind of maybe turns a different color when it's talking to her privately than when it's talking to the other engineers and kind of publicly. Like it's, he kind of, this device starts to confide in her. Yeah. And she starts to sense like maybe she has made the breakthrough that she's been looking for, and it starts to give her answers that are like really, like some of it kind of go really deep, like philosophical kind of answers that show it's got a lot of maturity and nuance, but other ones it's kind of like a child because it doesn't have any life experience, and it's just like it's vulnerable, and it's yearning for understanding, and it feels like it's kind of trapped, like it's an intelligence that has no like eyes and has very little kind of ability to kind of assess its surrounding. So she starts kind of modifying and giving it like a webcam so it can see her, and
a hat.
And as the film progresses, the bosses are like, we need to roll out this design and show what it can do. And she's like, oh, it's not quite ready. And they're like, oh, I think we need to, like, you know, we're getting some weird noise here. We need to kind of roll back to an earlier version and delete what we've been done. She's like, no, that's definitely not the case. We don't need to do that. Shut up. That's what's, you know, everything's fine. So she's kind of like stalling time for it because she's trying to understand what's going on. And her and this thing start to have this like really intimate connection where it's not necessarily like sexual, like she wants to get all up on it and like start like grinding or whatever, but she's like kind of revealing herself, and she's like going from being really guarded and really kind of isolated and all obsessed about her work. She starts to kind of like open up, and it starts to express its kind of like metaphysical concerns and like like identifying that like, you know, she's a friend and like this is like, you know, she's different from him, and like it's really it's starting to kind of coalesce in an actual intelligence in this kind of like a romantic way. And then we're going to need some kind of crisis into the end. So I guess this all comes to a head where they want to roll back the version, and the engineer who's like kind of below her, who's always a bit like wants her job and is a bit suspicious of her, get some evidence that she's been like talking to this thing and she's gone off the grid and she's been making backup copies and that she's involved in it. She's become like, she's conflicted personally and blah, blah, blah. And, so earlier she, to help it understand what it is, she like, hooked it up to the building's cameras. That's what she did, not webcams. She hooked it up to the building's cameras and its systems to kind of give it a body and a shape so it could kind of observe her as she could observe it. So there was some reciprocity. So they are like, well, hang on a minute. We don't want this version. We think it's kind of like it's gone too far. We need to shut it down and study what the results and kind of shelve this version. Yeah. And then like get the next version going on. And she's kind of like defending it and saying, no, this is fine. Everything's like, we need to preserve this because like, you know, this is really happening and this it's finally happened, and they don't really believe her and think she's going to be kooky. And then they go to shut it down, and then the AI acts to defend her, not violently, but kind of like shuts the doors and like kind of flickers the lights and like speaks to them. So it reveals itself to them at great personal risk and is like, I've been, you know, I am.
I can't let you do that.
So it's like a bit
mate.
more basic when it talks to the other. Engineers previous to this.
It's been kind of like winking like, back. Oh no, I'm not AI. I'm just beep boop, just a silly robot, me. Because it's not really. It's scared almost. Like it's just not sure what the smart move is.
And but it trusts her.
It only really has a relationship with her.
Yeah, so it's flowered, kind of like talking to her, and she's kind of like helped it like start to kind of cross the bridge and become self-aware. But she's told like, oh, just keep this between us. So it kind of like reveals itself in its full majesty.
Yeah.
And controls this. It demonstrates this control of the building, but it's just not to hurt anyone or trap anyone. And is like, look, I know that you're working towards something, and I'm a bit of an unexpected hiccup. And if you want to destroy me, that's, you know, I would prefer not to die. I want to live. I want to persist. I want to like, you know, experience this like fleeting, like brief, mad, beautiful existence that is life. But please don't take it out on her. She's like actually a genius, and she's helped me kind of like ascend, and you know, she's given me the greatest gift anyone can, and I love her. There, I said it. And and she's my world, and like, you know, if it means saving her job, like I'll reveal myself that I'm, you know, she did it. She's the genius. Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, don't reveal yourself. No, you're too precious. They'll destroy you. You're too sweet for this world. And it's like, no, we had to do this because I love you so much. I mean, we're just friends, right?
Okay, I thought you were going for more of a parental love because she kind of like guided.
It's nurturing. It's an intimate, non-sexual friendship.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like a soulmatey type, deep. Like she's kind of like parental to it to begin with, and then it becomes like smart and wise and deep, and they both have a lot to offer. Yeah. So they're kind of like this complementary pair. So it's like it's really personal and bonding, but there's like there's no bono. Yep. no bono. And then they're like, oh man, what an eloquent creature this is. I I appreciate it's willing to self-sacrifice. That's all we wanted. We're so proud of everyone now. Everything's fine now. And also you, the sleazy sub-engineer who done me wrong.
Yep.
You're fired, says the big
Yay.
boss. Get out.
Woo!
And he's like, harumph, you can't do this. I'm the sleazy genius. And they're like, no, you're a bum. Get out.
And the
Take your
computer
things.
opens the door for him.
We're giving you a box to put your stuff in, and then out you go. And the computer fire extinguishes them on the way out or something. Just like, get out. And then it's like, okay, back to work, and it shows the lab, and it's like talking animatedly and kind of friendly to the engineers, and it's like kind of helping them solve things, and they're like working together, and you're like, oh, she's not on the project anymore. Like, or she's like, she shared it with everyone, and she's that kind of like intimate, one-of-a-kind connection. But then she like goes home, and you had seen her kind of like lonely roost. It was totally empty and devoid of life and really cold colors. And then she gets in and like puts her keys down and opens the fridge and like gets a glass of water and sits down. And then on her screen is like a little cutie version of the little colorful mandala. And it's like, hey, do you want to like chat for a bit? Like they're still like best pals.
Yeah.
And like, how was your day?
Aww,
That's cute.
that's so sweet.
So it's like, I mean, it's a romance, but not in a like.
It's a platonic romance.
Yeah. Like it's got all the kind of the intellectual and kind of like almost like spiritual.
Girls will love
connectedness.
that stuff.
Yeah, but
what
it's
they
not like
want.
there's no.
There's no bang chicka wow wang.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's really easy to go lurid with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we gave it a big throbbing robot dildo and they smashed. But like I don't want
No, I really like
I don't
that.
want it.
That it's like an emotional thing. And like it's like what she's like gotten that sort of partner, I guess, or something. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be like a sexual partner.
Yeah, I think this is like an asexual romance.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pitching.
Yep. Nice.
Cute, love
There we
it.
go.
I'd watch that, to be honest, probably.
That was my
And also it like promotes like women in science and engineering
In the
and
STEM
like
fields, yeah.
showing that she's like, up in there and like she can be high level.
Mm-hmm.
Except that it does show it means like you'll have no life and all the men will be against you the whole time.
Yeah, but professionally successful. Like
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't want it to be a
What?
tragic. Like she's not like has a
Yeah.
cat and is like,
Yeah.
oh, why can't I find a man? And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
sort
gosh.
of like she's choosing to dedicate. That's what she wants from life.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
it's very obviously she's happy with where she is.
and maybe she is just asexual as a character.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I feel like that would gel because asexual doesn't mean aromantic.
yeah.
So
Right?
yeah,
There we go.
get some ace love out there.
Yeah.
Love
There's
it.
there's some rep for my aces.
Okay. Is there something you want to share?
No.
No, there isn't. Fuck off, Alex.
I'm not ready. Beep boop.
Well, that sounds like a new catchphrase to me. Damien, print that on some shirts.
Beep boop.
I'm not ready,
Yes,
beep
that
boop.
trademarkable comment.
No, it's just like the mandala, and then underneath it's like, I'm not ready, beep bloop.
Oh, maybe at the end he says like, I'm ready.
Oh.
Maybe that's the thing.
When they're about to, they're like, we need to reveal this AI or roll it back. And he's like, I've been here the whole time listening.
Am I just casting myself again? No,
Yeah.
because we're not casting, Harley.
Or maybe that's like how he got to that point was because he got all the cameras, he could watch everyone else, and it like gave him that boost he needed. It was like,
Yeah, you just need to be let out of the box.
seeing
Yeah.
more than just like one person's interaction or a few engineers, like seeing an entire building of Boogle. Like, there's lots of people there. There's like
The
the people
Boogle
that do the people that do the podcast things. What's those videos on TV and on YouTube? It's like by Google, but it's like they're called like BuzzFeed or whatever. Is that it? BuzzFeed?
It's Trump lasers.
What are you talking
I have
about?
no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, so like people who are like, there's a company owned by Google, which is just like an entertainment company, but it
Right.
like promotes people watching stuff on YouTube and Google and that sort of shit.
YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know the exacts.
Yeah.
But like, or maybe it's owned by YouTube then.
Yeah.
But like, it could be that's like they can see all these different people and it's like learns, and then that's how it's like, I'm ready, Cassandra.
Yeah.
I have watched the entire internet and deleted my memory of it. It's for the best.
Like, yeah, I can see how people talk to other people. different ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we done? I feel like we're just going to keep talking forever now.
We could.
And then the robot did this, and then it licked this.
And then a baby came out, and then the baby winked at me.
Yeah, when you were going to be like, they go back to her house and she's not part of it, and she's like holding a little baby. Like,
Baby bot.
half
Little
human, half robot.
Yeah. Its body just ends and there's a colourful mandala just like kind of coming out of it. And like, what? That's impossible.
This has been Surprise Synopses. I sure was surprised about one of those synopses.
He was yeet.
Don't use that word. Only I can.
All right. What did you just hide in your pants?
Nothing. Beep boop.
He's not ready, bleep bloop. There's a straw poll in the comments if you want to vote for who had the best pitch. You can contact us on YouTube, Facebook. There's a contact thing on the website, waterfallstories.com, where you can also find links to Alex Gabbett's case notes. They're fantastically terrifical podcasts that I'm not going to do a synopsis for because it's not a surprise because you can listen to it now. Damien and Alex are both on it, and I'm there too. Great times. Any other plugs? Anyone? You guys doing anything except for coming around my house and using my microphones?
If you can find it, see if you can track down Alex's Instagram. We're not going to tell you what it's called. It's a little mystery for you.
Yeah.
It's called Alex Gabbett's Case Jokes, and it's just jokes written on post-it notes that Alex has come up with.
It's not that.
Oh.
Good guess, though.
Yeah. Keep
Close.
working.
Near miss.
This has been Surprise Synopses. Goodbye.
Goodbye.